Good afternoon, VV Nation. Happy Thursday. Now, if you can hear me, if you can see me, please put a VV in the comment section. I'm trying to learn a little bit more on the behind the scenes. I still got Joey helping me out, though. He definitely here along the way. Nancy, Jake, William, first to the room, it seems like. Very nice, very nice. Now we'll give everyone else a chance to catch up. I know the alert just hit. Been a busy day today, right? The market's a little bit everywhere, like I said earlier in this week, I really don't care about the government shutdown. Even put the statistic out there, the S&P. There was a little pullback, a little hesitation, but, again, it's not my biggest concern right now. First shall be last. Like always a good one. We got John in the house, Troy, Alpha. Nice. Everyone can hear me. Perfect. Now let's switch over to the software, right? Let's see here. All right. That being said, we got 2 ticks into the green right now. So again, not too concerned about the market. But what I do like is just the confirmation. Now, if you have the access to the software, you can see the color guard clearly. We got 2 green lights in a row. So just want to throw out that tidbit there. So I'm a little bit more bullish right now. We haven't gotten that in a while, right? Previously it was mostly yellow lights, right? VectorVest software, just, let us know. There's some caution to be had right now. Not really either direction. Oxy, yeah, Leo, Oxy. Whew. Bill says record highs across the board except Russell 2000. Coin is moving up from the base. I like coin, but Hood, we're going to be talking about Hood tonight. Actually, I'm going to add coin, John. I'm going to add coin as well. Because I think coin, just kind of move in conjunction with Hood's enthusiasm. But either way. Can, yes, I saw Canon. Troy, trust me, I saw that this morning, actually. I'm actually looking to buy a little bit of Canon myself. So I saw that little jump. I haven't looked at it recently. But I was looking this morning. It was about 124. And then shot up to about 133, and then I had to start working. I haven't really looked at it since then, Troy. But yeah, no, it's on my radar. If you guys don't know about that, that's Canaan. I'll probably look at that one as well. Remind me, Troy, we can add that to the list here in a little bit. Greg, happy Thursday, right? Happy Thursday. Just want to give a heads up. Later this month, October, let me see here. It's a Thursday, Friday, it's 23rd and 24th here. We'll be out of town, going to St. Thomas. Cans at 1:30. Okay, good, Troy. I didn't want to miss the big move. I'm going to take a look at it today. But I did see it was optionable. I had a little bit of options on there, so I was thinking about maybe buy 200 shares. Take a little, dip my toes in the Canaan a little bit here. Big room today. Yeah, we do have a lot of people watching today. Look at that. I guess getting better, right? I guess I'm giving good advice, right? Otherwise, why would you be tuning in, right? Ryan, you said WDC and STX were overbought, but then you did a short about data storage AI. I'd have to look at WDC and STX as well. Those STX, that's the Seagate one, right? If I'm not mistaken, Seagate. That's definitely popular. We're actually talking about that in a meeting this morning, that stock, randomly. But yeah, the data storage, I think, was it Data Vault I talked about? I'd have to look at that that short you're speaking of, because I think that's going to be a snippet from a live, if I had to guess. I got approved for options in Schwab this week. Oh, put in the hearts. Troy, that's awesome. So I guess that's, so I take it have you done any option trades before, Troy? Because just my own personal experience, I just, for my first ever option, what stock was that? Please take a look at SMCI. Okay. What was my first option stock? It might have been Ford or something. I just chose something that was like $5-10, but had high option volume. And the reason why I chose that, not necessarily, to make a bunch of money or, anything like that, but with cheaper optionable stocks, the options are typically cheaper, right? So you don't have to, put as much money out there just to learn the mechanics with your broker. That's just my 2 cents, Not yet. Need to go back over option starter. Yeah, I took options paycheck, options jump starter. That was many moons ago. I think the options jump starter was like when they first did it or when they first started it. And then I almost want to say it was Ford or no, you know what? I think it was Genius Brands or something. It was like an old penny stock, but it had high option volume. But just making the trade for me, just the mechanics of placing the trade through the broker, that's the first step, right? And then you place the trade, you learn, how it moves, when the stock moves, things like that. You watch a little bit. But that's just my 2 cents, obviously everyone's account size is a little bit different, but for me, I just started with a smaller stock. I think it cost me like $30-40 maybe. Wasn't a whole lot. Ford was my first option trade as well. Yeah, Jay, I want to say actually it was Genius Brands, and I think it did Ford, did a couple other ones, and then I discovered AMD. Well, I knew about AMD, but then I really, once I figured out, because AMD at the time was about, I think it was about $35, because right after I did it was like one of my first option trades. I did like a 2-week expiration, got lucky, it jumped up. I think it was into the 50s. The first time AMD it went to the 50s. So yes, I think that was like 5 years ago. But that was exciting. That was very exciting. So that was a big move. All right, let's get into the news here. Let's see what's moving the market. A couple of things I will say. It looks a little bit more positive than yesterday. Yesterday was mostly just mining. And look, that's the one thing getting hit today a little bit. So, hey, is what it is right now. Either way, I'm still going to be bullish on gold. Still going to be bullish on silver. Even though silver did take a little bit of a hit today. Still bullish on crypto. The market in general. Look, one thing I will say, look, semiconductors making their way back into the top RT industries. That's real nice. But let's jump into some of the news stories I have for you here. I got a lot of windows open, I noticed. I think it's this one. All right, so this was here. We got S&P 500 closes above 6,700. Everyone's talking about, hitting a new high, right? Bet on short-lived shutdown. I think everyone's kind of the mindset. We've seen this every couple years with the government. Lasts a little bit. Typically, the market pulls back or stalls out. But again, showed you that statistic. If you missed it, since the 1970s, like 1976, the last 20 government shutdowns on average, the S&P, I believe it was the following 12 to 18 months, just over 12% to the upside. Only twice, that was 18 out of 20, were positive. Twice it was negative in the following, right? So statistically speaking, that's pretty good statistics for the bulls, in my opinion, right? Pretty good statistics. And then we got Tom Lee over here saying S&P 500, he thinks he's going to top 7,000 by year end. Says don't be fooled by the shutdown calamity talk. I don't think, I know there's a little bit more enthusiasm in the market this morning, pulling back a little bit, but now kind of back in positive territory. Everyone's kind of making their own assessment. Me personally, I'm just going to follow the VectorVest 7 software. The market's going to do what the market does, right? Just make sure you're on the right side of the market. That's why I love the color guard. Makes it easy to stay on the right side. Janet says, I'm 65. I've been doing it several years. Take a course or two. It'll increase your portfolio exponentially. Yes, option fees. They do charge you contract fees for the options. Kara, I've never traded options. Looks hard to do. LOL, I'm old. Kara, have some confidence in yourself. I keep trying to tell my mom about covered calls. But again, she sells herself short. She's got all these stocks. She really ain't doing nothing with them. And you're throwing away free money. So as long as you're okay, throwing away some covered call premiums throughout the year, is what it is. But, yourself, what you want to do at your point in your life. If you want to, learn more about options, hey, we're here to help. But I will say, the options jump starter course, probably one of the best options, lack of words, better options to choose for beginners. That's what I'm going to say. And it does very good for just, taking from the basics to a couple, good option strategies to start off with, right? Good couple strategies. Let's see here. Trying to go back to these comments here. All right, let's keep it going. Ryan, keep on her. Tell her cover calls are safe and easy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Actually, I told you guys, I just got done paying off a ton of debt. Now I'm looking at cheap, optionable stocks. So that way, I'm in my 30s. So, heck, 20 years from now, I could have a portfolio. Tons of 100 lots of random little companies, hopefully. Turn into big companies, right? 20 years from now, I'm selling the heck out of them. Let's sell the heck out of them. I've learned from the best, Steve Chappell, Jim Penna. Jim Penna is actually the one who taught me covered calls more in real world applications. And that was a tremendous experience. So again, whatever age you're at, at least try, right? Keeps the mind sharp learning new things. Keeps the mind sharp. All right, selling cover calls is the best option strategy. Yeah. Options only 47% right over the years, and that was after reading Options for Dummies. Put it very simple for you, right? People have smaller accounts. Typically, we're the buyers, right? We don't really have a choice. We got 100 shares of NVIDIA. That's expensive, right? 100 shares of, a lot of companies are expensive, right? So typically, we're the buyers. But the goal is to be on the side of the seller. To be on the side of the seller, right? Because the seller has the pretty much has all of the statistics in their favor, right? The favor is not with the buyer. The favor is typically going to be with the seller. So again, my idea is just to get my portfolio on the selling side, right? I know how to buy them. I know how to trade them, day trade them. I can make options as crazy as I want, right? Bill says app is optional. Let's see here. But yeah, App 11 at $678, Bill. Again, I'm going to be the buyer because that times 100, well, heck, times 10, $6,000. It's $60,000 to sell a call against that bad boy. Nah, Bill, unless there's a split. I'm hoping there's a split. Maybe I should buy a share or two of App 11 for the split. And actually, it's funny that we're talking about that and we're on that subject because with that price going up so much, if it sustains above $700, we could be talking about, a rumor of a split for App 11. I wouldn't be surprised by that. Wouldn't be surprised by that at all. Where do I buy options for dummies? Probably Amazon. Invest in the stock while you're there. Ryan, you're rich, LOL. Well, the goal is to get rich. Fortunately, I didn't get the silver spoon, but hey, we're all working that way, right? Do you need a certain amount of money in your portfolio to trade options? Depends. If you're selling naked options, yes. If you're selling options naked, would be the only time where you need money to cover. But typically, if you're just buying a call, buying a put by itself, no, you don't need money to cover, like on top of the cost of the premium. No. Amazon for sure. Yeah, I like Amazon. But so this is the story I wanted everyone to hear. Robinhood. Now, I did a story. I don't remember the little company. It was about a month ago. If you guys remember, maybe 2 months ago. There's a little company talking about tokenizing real-world assets. Putting like the Apple stock now in the crypto world, right? Instead of just buying Bitcoin, which, Fugazi, real, digital gold, whatever you want to call it. No one, time will tell. But now they're tokenizing real assets, right? Look at this. I think tokenization and Robinhood, right on par. Easy options trading on Hood. Yes, Glean Dean, I will say. That's actually, I want to say the first broker I did option. Is that a TD Ameritrade right now? Schwab has different levels of options trading. Yes, a lot of good brokerages out there. Let's see here. But yes, Vlad, man, this guy, he's just changing the game when it comes to, trading. I mean, think about the rise of the retail trader. No commissions. This guy right here, he's pretty much the reason why we ain't paying commissions. This is a smart dude. And I said, I forget the little company. It wasn't a stock, because I mentioned that when I did the story. But it was just the idea of tokenizing real world assets, right? Now, this is the thing right here. Tokenize U.S. stocks to customers in the European Union in June, giving them a new way to gain exposure to the underlying assets. See, look at this. Robinhood, I guess, just started this 2 months ago. I didn't even, that's interesting. So, yeah, I guess I probably did do this. I wonder if that company that I did the story on, I wonder if they worked with Robinhood in the process of this. Because that's about the time I did that story, I think. I don't think I mentioned anything about Robinhood, but interesting. But either way, the crypto world, the stock world, it's intermingling, right? Crypto world is going to stocks via ETFs, right? Popular, very, very popular, right? Now the stock world is going over to the crypto world via tokenization, real world assets. I even talked to you about it, I was probably May. I forget what it was. Someone might want to look it up. But it was a Bitcoin gold-backed crypto, right? And they had a Bitcoin gold-backed ETF, right? It's just interesting. Wondering how far Hood could go. I mean, Hood and Coinbase, who knows? They're so far ahead of the curve. I mean, the industry disruptor, You know, Robinhood, we all know the story there. I mean, think about, you know, just GameStop, you know, what is it, the meme stocks, right? All this was from this guy. You know, don't sell this guy short. And this tokenization here, this is crazy. And I'm looking at it this way, right? So one of my first videos I ever did on crypto was the allure to it. So say you live in a place of geopolitical conflict in the world, right? High inflation, things of that nature, right? You can't really trust the local currency. So all you really had was Bitcoin and Ethereum, you know, a couple of the others back in the day, right? You know, places like Venezuela outlawed it, you know, because it was very efficient, right? You know, I've said this before. It's, you know, it's a way, you know, just a way to hedge against, you know, government financial mishap, right? But now instead of having to say, hey, you know, let me get some Bitcoin and Ethereum, now I can be like, hey, let me get some Apple on that crypto world, right? Let me get some, you know, Nvidia, right? You know, I'm just around the world. I think I'd rather put my money in Nvidia to escape geopolitical tensions rather than Bitcoin. You know, depending where you're at in the world. But either way, this guy's, don't sleep on Hood. I'm gonna add coin to the list as well. My goodness, Hood was just 60 plus. Yeah. I mean, that guy's he's thinking so far ahead right now. He's about to change the financial game. And we've seen it, we're seeing it, and we're going to see it probably again in the future with this tokenization, if I had to guess. Berkshire Hathaway. I talked about this yesterday. It wasn't a good idea for Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. Well, I don't know if it was a good idea or not. The stock's down quite a bit today, but down about 8%. But why I said it wasn't a good idea is because in the VectorVest 7 system, it was overvalued, right? And I was like, that's kind of interesting because, you know, Warren Buffett seen as kind of a value guy, right? Value guy. Ben David, too late to buy? Ben, you really got to ask yourself this question. Is it too late to buy Bitcoin in the long run, right? I'm not going to answer that question. That is something you got to ask yourself personally, right? Because Hood is the crypto realm, right? Yeah, obviously they've already changed the game when it comes to stocks. But when it goes forward, I mean, and you can bet on all kinds of things, right? Schwab, don't buy Hood. Schwab, don't buy. Well, NBIS has been a dog recently, but today it's up bigly. You're not my dad. Don't tell me what to do. But again, Hood, we're gonna take a look at it. It's overvalued. You know, investors are paying a premium for it right now. I'm not gonna sell you short on that one. You know, I tell you how it is. But this one here, look, Oxy, still down about 8%. Berkshire Hathaway down about 30% here. One thing I didn't realize, so we talked about this yesterday. So it's going to buy petroleum, or Oxy's petrochemical unit. So it's buying a part of the company here. $9.7 billion. This is the biggest deal since 2022. But I thought it was interesting. Look at this. Berkshire already has a 28% stake in Occidental. And now they're already buying another part of the company. You know, the, what was it? The Petro arm? Yeah, petrochemical unit. OxyChem. So, yeah, they got their hands tied in them pretty big here. I thought that was pretty interesting. But stock's down pretty big today. I wouldn't touch it. CoreWeave, the takeoff recovery has already started. Look at it. We got an upgrade here. Another big deal with CoreWeave. This time it's Meta. $14 billion. Right? And look at this part right here. As the AI races into the next phase, despite negative earnings and cash burn, don't act like you're buying this without no risk, because VectorVest 7 software, I already tell you, a little risky, right? CoreWeave's ability to raise significant capital while relying on its deepening partnership. As you're well, right? So big partnerships. These partnerships don't work out. The company's burning through a lot of cash. Looked at Guild has been a great performer for me. I like that stock. You know, we've talked about that a couple times on this channel. I forgot who mentioned it originally, but it wasn't bad. Hey, last year I told Glenn Hood is on the move at 20 plus per share, but he was more into other stocks. Well, let's be honest here. Glenn was never really a big crypto guy or, you know, Coinbase Hood guy. You know, he'll play the trend of them. I know I won't sell him short of that, but he's never really been a big crypto guy. So I don't, you know, he probably overlooked that comment if I had to guess, right? It was probably one of his crapto days. Mike said jumped into any the other day. Tiny. Oh, I did like any. Yes, that's on the list too. Let me put that one back down. Any. That was a good one. If you guys missed it, remind me. But that was a good one. Let's see here. All right. Crapto. Ryan, due to your peer pressure, about 500 shares of can. Thanks. Whoa. I did not tell you that. Is it still at around $1.28? I was hoping for $1.25 just because I'm a cheap butt. And I put $250 extra in the account just for that. So if it goes back down after this live stream, I'll pull the trigger most likely. But I was looking at it because it did have options, right? I did see some options there. So maybe after the next, hopefully next pop or something, I might put a covered call on it. Maybe at a level of resistance. We'll see. Or while it's at a level of resistance, put the strike above. Ryan, I've been gone for a while. Did Glenn retire? G-Money. Glenn did not retire. I don't know if there's exact timetable, but if you did not know, just go to VectorVest.com/Glenn. The whole update, everything will be there for you, as well as anyone that hasn't already heard about Glenn and everything. Just go to www.VectorVest/Glenn, and that'll give you the update there. All right, but yes, CoreWeave, we're going to look at as well. These software companies, they're a little bit everywhere. I know they're volatile, but, if you take most of them, these software AI companies compared to where it's 12 months ago, kind of like Quantum, because I was just looking at our Quantum list, and I compared it. I did a quick test just before the holidays when Glenn, kudos to Glenn, he came across it here. And the results of the Quantum list, like Qubit was the top one, like 1,200% since November. It was something insane. But they're volatile, a wild ride. So if you ain't ready for that wild ride, I don't know. There are some more conservative picks in the Quantum field as well. Take a look at the list, utilize the VectorVest indicators, and I'll point you in the right direction. But I was like, man, Glenn, you hit it right on the head with that Quantum. So kudos to Glenn for sure on that. Here's another one. Palantir. Actually, this is a Glenn stock too. Kudos to Glenn. Palantir. Let's see here. 20% reflecting investor recognition. There it is right here. 100 million nuclear operating system contract ties growth directly to AI's energy bottleneck, positioning Palantir within nuclear expansion mega trends, right? Now, Glenn and I talked about AI data center power needs. I even talked about, what was the last video? Navitas Semiconductor, talking about different type, instead of a silicon, I think it was a gallium nitrate wafer. Trust me, I'm not a chemist by any means, so if I butchered that, I apologize. But to see Palantir now as another solution, AI solution, nuclear expansion megatrends, AI energy bottleneck, everything here is telling me that, well, bam, Palantir right in the crosshairs of another great opportunity. Gotta love it. But we'll get to the bad stuff, right? Look at this. China adds 10 gigawatt nuclear annually versus America's 2 gigawatt and 30. Whoa, I had to reread that. I didn't read that before. Can y'all reread that? China adds 10 gigawatts of nuclear annually versus America's 2 gigawatts in 30 years. I didn't know that was a statistic. That is a shocking statistic. I hope Palantir can fix that. I know it's trading at a premium right now, but just like Glenn had said, article after article, this company's got his hands in everything. Defense. I don't know, but I love it. I know we are just trading at a premium. I've been talking about the ascending channel in it. We'll keep it simple. But this is it right here. Just like my UAMY, amplifying the geopolitical urgency of Palantir's role. Think of all the videos I've done this year. I would say, other than showing you some things in the VectorVest 7 software, I'd say probably 80% of them had to do with this right here. Companies that amplify geopolitical urgency, right? UAMY. Bitcoin miners, right? Ethereum miners, right? Why? This right here, energy solution, bottleneck. Everything's bottleneck right now. I'm trying to catch up, or I don't know, catching up, beating, whatever with China. Race in China. We're racing China, right? So this is a pivotal company. So this is crazy article. I mean, yeah, defense, finance, energy, Palantir. I'm just waiting for that value to tick up. I got no crystal ball, but at some point that valuation needs to tick up. All right, let's see here. Tell Glenn VV Nation is all thinking of him and wish him the best. Of course, Terry, always will do that. Vix, what do you think of Intel and AMD deal? I think Intel's rise right now is because of everything but Intel. Who can agree with that? First rise, government. Second rise, NVIDIA. Third rise, AMD. Where's the rise because Intel is doing something better? I'm just saying. That's my opinion. But yeah, as far as the news, they're pretty much pushing the stock up. So yeah, they're pushing the stock up. So I'm not going to fight it. It's like the Fed. I'm not fighting it, right? I'm not going to fight Intel at all because it's like the Fed. Everything is just pushing it up, right? It's just pushing it up. But it's not because of Intel. It's not, unless I see an article where it says, hey, Intel did something good and the stock goes up, I'm going to give credit to NVIDIA, AMD, TSM, and we all know what's happening. The administration is putting pressure on those companies to save Intel. And if you don't, that's clear as day. That's clear as day. And I think it's a good thing. It's a good thing, especially with everything going on in the world. I'm not going to say it's a bad thing, but I don't like to get to politics here as well. But I like semiconductors. And I think that America, semiconductors, I love semiconductors. I still think there's probably the most boring part right now of the world as far as geopolitical tensions. Would I rather be in control of the world's gold supply or the world's semiconductor supply right now? Probably semiconductors, right? That's just my personal opinion. Ryan, due to your peer pressure again, I bought UAMY yesterday. Thanks. I'm thinking about buying more UAM stock. I told you guys I was going to buy the dip, the red line, but it looks like I saw the article because someone mentioned in the comment section why it popped. There was insider trade. It was like the CEO or top executive bought it right at the level or right before the level I was thinking. Sucker popped back up, right? I like it. Trump had Intel at $6. You talking about he owns Intel at $6? Thank you, Ryan, VV Nation. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate that. Oh, why did I come here? This is why. Oil. It's still not the play. Oxy Petroleum. I don't know why. Maybe you see something in there. Maybe there's a good dividend. I don't know. But oil is not the place. All these articles, countries flooding, OPEC's flooding with oil. Everyone's coming out with oil. So, and there's a lot of sanctioned oil on the market right now, right? And the sanctioned oil is cheaper than the non-sanctioned oil, so that causes conflict, right? Yes, also interested in adding UAMY too. Yes, UAMY is definitely going to be that part of that portfolio that I'm telling you I'm building, in the prospects of building right now. 100 lots of companies. I'm aiming for $10 or less, and the whole point is just covered calls and just long-term positions. Are you going to pressure me on buying MU now? I feel like maybe late to the party. I'm not pressured you guys to do anything. Let's go over here. Let's take a look at these stocks here. This is what I got for you. News. NBIS has me curious. RV questionable. Speculative nature is attractive. What's happening? James, speculation. Speculative nature tracks speculation, right? I'm gonna put that there with the NBIS. You know what we need to do? Maybe because it's NBIS, CoreWeave, and Big Bear AI are typically the ones I talk about. Maybe I should. Yeah, NBIS. Yeah, they're getting contracts with with Meta, with the Microsofts, with the Amazons, the hyperscalers. So there's just speculation of more. I think it was CoreWeave. Was it CoreWeave the one that had $100 million in revenue last year? And now they got the contract with Microsoft. And now they're expecting like billions of dollars going forward. Pretty sure that's CoreWeave. But CoreWeave is not in my cheap covered call list because I think it's too expensive. It's too expensive. Look at it. It's $138. So for 100 shares, that'd be 10,000 bucks. I ain't doing that. Jake, I am up 24% in NBEX. Yep. No, that's NBIS. Oh, okay. NBIS. Again, I do a lot of videos, so if I mix the stories, I do apologize. So let's stick with these today. Right now, Hood at the top of the list, right? Again, the premium is there. Look at the value divided by price. It's actually, I don't know, there's pretty overvalued stocks here, but one of the more overvalued stocks, right? Overvalued. Investors are paying a premium. I could see why. The guy's a genius. I mean, especially with the tokenization. You already heard my opinion on that. Stock's up 4% today. Value, 41 bucks. RV, this is where I find it interesting, though. And this is what I like. Even though the price is way overvalued, look at the price appreciation potential, right? 1.31. So even though the stock is overvalued and investors are paying a premium right now, there's still some underlying fundamentals there that says, hey, there's some price appreciation. So, so maybe some gas left in the tank here. So that's, just on that reason alone, leave my personal opinion, crypto, tokenization, all that stuff out of it. That's got my interest. And then the software tells you, VectorVest don't lie. You're going to take a little risk here. Not a whole lot of risk. If you're in the crypto world, Hood, the stock, is probably going to be one of the safer bets, right? And you can see it's right around 1. The magnitude, the trend is there. Buy rating. Let's look at this forecasted data. 45%. Look at Palantir. 30. It's more than Palantir. It's got more earnings growth rate than Palantir. Hood's got some crazy things behind the scenes, and I don't know exactly what all they got their tentacles into, but they're doing something. I think Webull could have a good run. Not as good as Hood, but I like the price of them. I like Webull. I love Webull because that's who I use. I do like TradeStation, but Webull is what I use. And I think you guys all know that. Retail traders forgot how Hood screwed them during GME/AMC squeeze. I haven't. Mac Daddy, I didn't forget about that. But yeah, a lot of people have forgot about that. I think that problem's behind them right now, right? We added to Hood again today. Nice. I made a watch list from your video last night. All right. I'm not buying yet. All right, direction. Hey, again, last night's video, I'm not saying those are the best stocks in the market to choose, but I just like showing you kind of tricks to finding fish, right? Last night we found some fish in the mining space. So if you missed last night's video, definitely check that out. Retail trade, we added to Hood today. Yep. All right, so look at these. Hood good, Palantir, still rocking and rolling. Where's it at now? In the 180s? Yep, 186. I haven't looked at it in a while. We'll take a look. So this is what I want to look at here. Government shutdown, what's moving right now, right? Hood's up, crypto's up, Ethereum up, silver down, gold down, oil down. Interesting. Gold, silver down, crypto up. That's why I said, I've been saying it. A lot of different type of mining out there. Be diversified. A little gold, a little silver, a little rare earth, a little Bitcoin miner. What's the one you guys like that we talk about? Iris. Since that video, that one's gone bonanzas. I don't know about chasing the run, but hey, keep them on your radar for sure. Solana's even up right now. So yeah, just try to keep you guys on the right space. And we're seeing the momentum in the crypto. Again, just what I've said since my first video. It's a barometer of mistrust in the government and financial. Why are we shutting down? They can't agree on spending, right? So crypto's up. So it is what it is. I saw an article that 100 days after gold peak, money moves into crypto. Interesting. Very interesting. Thomas, where'd you see that article at? I might take a look at that sometime. Buying Hood is like buying tobacco stock. Shady money can be made. I won't necessarily disagree with that. Cobalt. Hey, cobalt. Is cobalt a rare earth? Or is it a critical mineral? Yes, critical mineral. That's what it is. Critical mineral. Yep. So yeah, even cobalt mining, right? I've said it. Mining. I like mining. I think diversified for mining. Hey, not a bad idea. Stopped out of SSRM this morning with 25% profit. Troy says thank you. Hey, always Troy. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here to help you guys out. Alfreda, I'm holding on to my iron. There we go. We got an iron holder in the house. I like it. Kind of wish I would have taken my own advice there and bought some. But again, like I said, I just got done paying off a bunch of debt. But now I'm ready to start buying. And I get green lights in the color guard. I'm excited. And you guys already know kind of what stocks I'm thinking as of right now. There's only one cobalt smelter in North America. And guess what, William? I guarantee you, you probably research it, but I guarantee you the Department of Defense trying to figure out how they could get a second one. I guarantee you, maybe a third. Because every rare earth story that I see, or I'd say 90% of the rare earth stories I see with stocks, it's all about Department of Defense helping them. Department of Defense helping them. Department of Defense helping them. So yeah, I would stay on top of that. Stay on top of those for sure. All right, 235. So let's just graph these real quick because I know people are holding gold as well. Let's take a look at that chart. All right, today we're going to look at the VectorVest simple graph here. And keep it simple, right? I've said it before. If you got too much on your chart, you're probably convincing yourself, of something you shouldn't be doing, right? Look at Hood. We're just going to go off what VectorVest tells us. VectorVest tells us by April, pretty much about the rest of the bottom fishing occurred, right? From the tariff situation. The trend becomes favorable. RT relative timing letting us know that, hey, some of this damage is probably behind us now, but for the most part, RT rises, right? Shortly after, we got buy rate. Look at Hood, $48. I think that was just a comment, right? Someone said Hood was just 40 when they last saw it, or 60, somewhere around there. But the system, look, strong buy rating. Only one day where it's lost its buy rating. Right here. Boom. And look at that. Staying right in the stop price here. So if you're holding Hood, just, looking at the rally so far, the stop price, the recommendation, RT, keeping you in the trade, right? Not letting you leave good profits on the table. I love this. Now, I will say this. Just a little heads up. Not to worry you, but we see a little divergence there, right? RT diverging lower. I just noticed this. Price action diverging higher, right? Just be careful of that. Just be careful. I'm not saying it's going to come to fruition, that, Hood's going to crash, anything crazy like that. So don't say I said that, but just keep that in the back of your mind. Seeing some weakness there. And looking at this, actually, it's still kind of break above it. For those who've got a lot of profits in Hood, I'm just saying this is the line right here I'd look at. Potentially maybe take a little off the table. That way you keep a little just in case it pulls back because I do see that divergence there, right? Otherwise, I like it. And look what's pushing this baby higher. Earnings. Ooh, that's smooth. That's smooth right there. So if you don't like the idea of holding, Bitcoin, Ethereum, you don't like the idea of crypto, if you're like Glenn, you call it crapto. But you see yourself maybe missing some of the action, Hood, not a bad idea to look at, right? Get you exposure to both of the crypto and the brokerage side. So just keeping that one out there. It's a good one. Silver, that thing's rock and rolling. It's had buy ratings flashing all the way since February here. When this ETF is around 35, it's almost doubled. It's 70, almost pretty much doubled since then. Relative timing getting us early into the trade, right? Everyone's like, oh, I missed the trade. Oh, I'm so late to the trade. RT. Look for those crossovers in RT. And I'll show you how to find them. Maybe we can do that today in Unisearch. Guys, I'll show you how to find RT crossovers. You can always add, a little spice to the Unisearch if you want. But look at that. Boom. RT's still favorable. I love it. And we're not getting that bearish divergence. A little bit of a warning that we saw in Hood. Not saying it's coming to fruition, but look. RT rose, price rose. I like it. Keeping that momentum there. Keeping it. How loose are people making their trailing stops on gold stocks? Hood is closing at high today. Still strong. Yeah, Ben. I'm still saying it's strong. Can you add Nebix to VectorVest for me? Is it not in there? I think we talked about this, right? Yeah, it is. That's true. That's the double leverage. I got a message, Angie. Joe, you just remind me that. I'm going to write it down. Times 2 NBEX. I'll Google it, and I just got to send it to the data manager. It usually sometimes it's quick. It'll be there next day. Sometimes it take a couple days. Being Friday tomorrow, I'm going to say next week. But yes. Let's see here. I have a 10% trailing stop from recent high. Article on Bitcoin peak 100 days after gold. I would say, usually like 10 to 15% is normal. Look what kind of stock you're in, right? If you're in a high volatile stock, you might need to stick on the 15% side, right? Because you might just get whipsawed on volatility, no problem, right? Now, if you're in something a little bit less volatile, you probably do 10%. Otherwise, just make sure it makes sense, right? Make sure it makes sense. The views page on VectorVest Desktop has a link to add stocks via email. Yes, do that. Will you do that, please? Because I got to record tonight's video right after this. But actually, I could do that as well. You do want to add NBX, though. NBEX. Double leverage. But Ethereum, look at this. This is interesting about Ethereum. You know me, I love a good trend line, right? Sometimes you can't always spot a trend line, or you don't want to always go through the charts. As soon as it broke its downward trend line, look what RT was telling me. Boom. Same day. That's a powerful indicator. Boom. Momentum up. And we didn't even get a hold. VectorVest said, nah, we going from sell to buy on Ethereum. VectorVest was about as bullish as I was back then, right? Remember I was telling you? Ethereum, due for a new high. Hasn't hit a high since what, 2020, 21? I had to look at the chart. That RT, these crossover. I'm going to show you guys where to find this stuff in Unisearch, because this is powerful. This is just a good example here. Look, Palantir. Let's look at Palantir here, right? RT goes above 1. Yeah, there's a little pivot here. A little bad spot. RT above 1. And look at it. Still in the ascending channel. Still in it. Just carry it on up. Keep extending the lines, right? We talked about it. Flirted with it down here a little bit. It's held right above that stop price. I mean, you can get rid of all these lines. And if you just use our stop price, and well, even RT, yeah, you might have, take a little something off the table here, a little bit of warning with the RT dropping below 1. But it's very short-lived, no sell rating. VectorVest keeping in the trade. Last time we had a sell rating was here at $48 after there's a big sell-off here, right? You never know how much a stock's going to pull back. But shortly after, the buy came in, 107, right? So you just went buy. Yeah, a little warning here. Came back in for a buy. And look at the earnings per share. Still rocking to the upside. I like it. But yeah, it's an ascending channel. As long as it's in that ascending channel, why am I going to be stressed about it, Unless there's like something crazy happens and it gaps through it. But otherwise, you could see strong support in that ascending channel. Very strong support. All right. Here's gold, still well above. Gold holding a buy rating right now. RT. Look at this. Also very powerful. Look at RT here. Right? Gold. Flat line. But RT, the momentum just dropped out of gold, right? You can almost see like ascending triangle kind of thing maybe right there. Several touches on it, but the trend is gone. Rejection. And you can see the RT telling you with each rejection that RT just gets lower and lower until eventually RT's unfavorable, right? But look, as soon as RT goes back above 1 here, it gets right back above this trend line. Again, powerful indicator. Really, revealing something or, capturing some things that you may not notice on a stock chart. So keep your eye on RT. Sols, this is a Solana ETF here. You see the momentum to the upside right now. Look at RT. It's back in positive territory. So if you are, bullish on crypto and especially Solana, RT now 2 days in a row getting follow through here. Very little wick at the top. Kind of like this actually. And a buy rating as well. So again, if you're looking for that fresh buy, fresh RT crossover, you got SOZ here. This is a double leverage Solana. I believe it's double leverage on that one. BTC, rocking and rolling. I like BTC. I liked all the articles when it was like 111,000. Oh, BTC is done. Back to crypto mode, right? And that's usually when you want to buy a little more. And if we go back out to 6 months here. But again, look at RT. It's showing, let's see here. Freehand. Oh, let's just extend this up, right? Boom. And then RT. Oh, no, not that one. RT's dropping, right? Bullish divergence, right? So by here, and price action pulls back, we're seeing that bullish divergence. RT weakening, price actioning, strengthening, right? And look what happens in the overall trend. Lost momentum, just kind of moving to the side, right? Since then. But now we're seeing a little bit of a pivot, actually a takeout from the prior swing high, and RT starting to climb again. Look at this. RT is currently at 1.19. What's the prior swing high here? 1.2, 1.19. So yeah, we're almost about to take out the prior swing high in RT. I actually like this turnaround. This actually could have been a good fuel, kind of like refueling the tank for Bitcoin. This actually got me pretty bullish looking at this here. Fresh buy rating, RT positive. I like it. I actually like that a lot. Interesting. All right, CoreWeave. We've talked about CoreWeave, descending channel. Talked about that little ping and pong. But look, it broke it, retested. As long as it stays above this 131, I like it. And look at RT. It agrees with me. As long as it stays, gets above this line, RT getting favorable now. Now saying at 1.56. Down below, we do have earnings per share. It is negative, right? But if I go back to a year, when the company came out, the earnings per share was what? Negative 231. Now it's negative 73 cents. So it's moving in the right direction. So the software is telling me, yes, speculative stock, but moving in the right direction. Even the technicals, right? With this breakout of the descending channel, RT realizing that breakout, going favorable. Powerful indicator. All right, XRP here. I'm not looking too good on XRP. This is that real resistance here. I mean, that's a 42. You got to ask yourself, the sell rating here. I mean, a lot of sells. I mean, the first sale came in, what was this, back in August, and the stock hasn't really done much since then. RT went unfavorable here as early as $36, it looks like. And again, it's still at 30, what was that? Yeah, that's when it dropped big. The open was 41. So yeah, hasn't been doing much since RT. Let's get that RT back above 1 before I get too crazy with the XRP. Oxy, big drop again, not there. If I use value, still well overvalued, and value's decreasing. Can't get behind it. Can't get behind it. Earnings per share is dropping. So again, I'm not going to be in the favor of Warren Buffett. Oh, wrong way. But again, yeah, XRP, that's the one crypto that's got sell and RT below 1, right? You see it's not working. VectorVest is telling us exactly which cryptos are working. The Ethereum, the Bitcoin, Solana short-term. Solana, that ETF just came out. But definitely the other two, right? Oxy dropped. All right, so let's get out of those. What time is it? I want to get some of your stock picks here. 247. Don't put them in quite yet. I'm going to go to Unisearch. And we're going to go trends, crossovers. And you got this little folder here, trends, crossovers, right? I'm going to give you some fish. I'll give you only the top 5 as of today. If you got access to the software, you can run the search anytime. You can add parameters. You can add price points. You can add moving averages. You can, spice it up however you want. If you don't have access to the software, check out the trial. Just go to VectorVest.com/YT is the offer. As well, we were talking about options earlier. Check out VectorVest.com/offers, because on there are some course offers when it comes to options. So, again, I am pretty cheap. So if you're trying to save $1, those offers go till Monday evening. They'll end, I think, Tuesday morning. They're done. So definitely check those out. They'll be the last of the Vegas 2-day. But here's 5 stocks. RT, look at this. RT trending. Yesterday below 1. Today above 1. Let's just look at these real quick. It might be a fish or two here. Who knows? This one, not so much of a fish, right? Still early stock. Do your homework, but it looks like that trend might break out to the upside here. Not quite the example we're looking for. Let's see this one. Here we go. Let's go to a 1-year chart. Now we're seeing something. Now we're seeing some big move to the upside. Earnings per share. I don't like that drop in earnings per share, but I do like it steadily rising now, though. We did get a fresh buy rating as of now. So again, stock that could potentially on a turnaround, right? Cheap stock too, $2. Here's another one. Big momentum to the upside. Again, recently added to the database. Oh, this is double leverage Circle. In case you are looking, a Circle. Remember Circle IPO? In case you're a fan of that, this is a double leverage. Big day today on that. 11.25 right now. Trading at session highs. So crypto, again, this is telling you that this the crypto stocks, crypto companies working right now. They are the company behind USDC. This one right here, this is Defiance Target. What's that? No, I don't like that one. Rocket Lab, too long. Rocket Lab. That is all over the place. They got all these single stock ETFs now. It's crazy. Here's one. Maite, lower left, upper right. Clearly not a lot of volume. You can see that here, so you can't get a whole lot of shares of it. But it looks like a nice potential dip to be getting back into. The RT going back above 1, and on top of that, look at the jump in the earnings per share. But just a heads up, not a lot of volume, so don't go gung ho and buying this stock. You won't be able to exit it, depending on how many shares you can buy, right? All right, now let's get over to some stocks. I want to take a look at some of y'all stocks here. All right, you guys know what I've been doing this week. I want the fish. I want the good fish. I don't want your bad fish. I want the good fish. I want us all to make some money. I want 10 good stocks. The folder, trends, crossovers. And to be honest, I would add, maybe some price, maybe some volume criteria that we just saw, things of that nature, right? You can do a lot of things with Unisearch tonight. Won't be on Unisearch, actually. I forgot about that. For some reason, I thought it was. All right, but I do want to do some Unisearch soon. You can get so many good fish just stumbling, playing around in Unisearch. I love it. All right, ASTS. What is this here? Space Mobile. I don't know what that one is. I like it. I don't want to know what they are. I want new fish. I don't want all the fish that have already gone up 100%, 200%. We want the new fish. ELB. Yes. LEUPGY. Celestica's not a new fish, but we'll look at it. That mining company, that was a Unisearch find. I came across that one in Unisearch here. Is that where you came across it, Vic? SMCI. I'm curious what SMCI is doing. It's been a while. Grit. Rigetti. Interesting. I might have to do a Rigetti video soon. All right, how do we got here? Is this 10? 12. All right, you got me for 2. All right, let's see what we got here. At the top of the list, INOD. Overvalued. Let's go over to the right a little bit. Let's see where the value. Let's just resort by this. The value, silver mining, not surprised. SMCI. It's at 52 now. It's creeping back up. But look at value, getting close to $70 now. I want to see our value on a graph, actually. Small cap, 3 times bull. Okay, up 1%. We've got Electra battery materials down 16%. Interesting. Celestica. All these are overvalued. Y'all got a whole bunch of overvalued stocks in the list, that's for sure. Growth rate. Couple good ones. Couple bad ones. You see the top. Look at the bad. Not good. I'm not surprised it's down 16%. I don't know. You guys gave me these 10 stocks. We'll see if there's some fish here today. We'll see. We'll see if there's fish. This is the first 10 in the comment section. INOD, we've talked about this one before. I mean, depending on when you got into it, you might have definitely gotten a bag. Let's look at value here. I mean, hey, even though the stock's overvalued, I mean, value keeps climbing. Earnings per share keeps climbing. Just keep in mind that investors are willing to pay a premium. See what news is around here. Is this earnings? No, it's not earnings. Earnings, the stock went down. So I imagine this has got to be some kind of news here. But the last time this stock was fairly valued, look at our valuation here. Just in case you can't see it, let me put it to an area. As soon as it touched it, right? off to the races from 40 bucks about to almost 90 now. $88 currently trading at. Look at RT. You know, RT trying to get you in on a trade early. There you go. I got you in. I mean, not the bottom, but not bad either. I mean, $47 that day. RT went positive and buy rating that day. Look at that. 2 good reasons to look at this stock. That buy rating still holds. Good stock. Definitely a good stock. Now here's Pagaya Technologies. Sell rating. No, I'm not liking it. Well, I do like, look at the value creeping up here. Is this a little... I'd hate to think that this stock came all the way back down here, not to be tempted to fill this gap or at least pivot off the top of it, something. And what I would like, because it hasn't done it yet, let's see value keep climbing. Value keep climbing and price pivots off that gap. You might have a really good opportunity there. Because look at earnings per share. That's a turnaround story. Again, this is forecasted earnings. This is not just telling you currently what the stock is making. This is taking forecasted data. We get this right from the NASDAQ. Went from negative now to positive 80 cents. We're sitting at 78 cents. Sorry. But again, turnaround story. The RT, if you want the confirmation, RT's telling us a little early to pull the trigger, right? You see it pivoting back up, and I'm thinking it's a little early as well. I'm thinking, you know, in an ideal situation, I want that value to keep climbing, price to come down here, meet somewhere in the middle, hopefully around the support line, and that sucker just rocket, right? Here's Santa Cruz Silver Mining. Yes, this is the one. I gotta write this one down too. There's so many good stocks out there, and we do a good job of finding them. We got a good family here on the channel. I like it. This one here, yeah, clearly since I wrote it down, I'm interested. I told you any stock under $5 or $10, I want to buy 100 lots in. The only thing I got to figure out, this stock is optionable. Figure out when I want to get into it. But software say, hey, this earnings, the earnings is pretty much doubled since the stock has gone out. The forecasted earnings. We'll use a date line here. This might actually be the fish of these 10 right here. Look at this. Earnings per share, 18 cents. Now it's at 30 cents. Forecasted earnings almost doubled since August, since we just entered October. Values rise. Yeah, it's on my radar for sure. Why not? I just want to see if I can sell some calls against it. So if you're in the if you're going to be in the market to buy some of those calls here soon, let me know. I might have some calls available for you. All right, CLS. Another beautiful story, right? I mean, you had opportunities, undervalue here. Buy rating gave you undervalued opportunities. RT gave you undervalued opportunities. We've been talking about CLS on this for a while now. So yeah, clearly, you know, a lot of you, I don't know when you guys got into it, but you guys might be at a bag or you know, getting close to a bag. The stop keeps moving with it. That stop is now at $214, right? And it's gone all the way from, you know, less than $100 in April to now over just over $200 is the stop price. Not the price of the stop, but the stop price. You got a bag in the stop price if you got this around his time. But even before then, but yeah, this thing has been on the top VST list. This has been in a million videos. Glenn and I have definitely talked about this one. I do see a little RT divergence here. Just keep that in the back of your mind just in case. But otherwise, with strong rising earnings per share, forecasted earnings per share, a good fish to have on your radar here. All right, here's Klarna Group. It's just overvalued. The trend's to the downside. RT struggling, you know, for the most part above 1. I do like the earnings pop to the upside. You know, that's a gambler's choice right there. Definitely you want to keep that price action above the stop. You know, let's see if we get a close above the stop and then a following open above the stop if this is something that you're interested in. But right now, I've just seen too many IPOs where after the dust settles, you know, the price comes down to meet value. Yeah, value's rising a little bit, but they might meet somewhere in the middle. You know, right now let's look around, you know, $25, $30 potentially, right? Yeah, you could swing trade it, but yeah, let's get that price above the stop and stay above the stop. Because RT just crossed above 1, so it might be a good early entry on that. But again, I'm thinking more of a swing trade than an investment there. Now here's SMIC. Look at the value there. Let's see here. 6 months. I see cup cups, the first thing that comes in mind. You can see the resistance. Look at that. Broke through that resistance. I mean, look at this. This is beautiful. Beautiful gap fill. Yeah, I like it. And it looks like, I haven't heard any bad news about SMIC in a while, or SMCI in a while. Oh, it's no options, Rick? Well, not saying it's a bad one. I'm going to cross it off my option strategy list, Rick. Hopefully they'll get some options. But yeah, it just looked like a beautiful stock. I might still buy a little bit. I mean, it's only like $1 or something. But anyways, because I do want to have a little silver exposure as well. I like the idea of just, like I said, all mining. I don't care if it's, rare earth, a crypto, a silver, a lithium, a uranium, a gallium, a whatever. And that was a Glenism, by the way. That was a Glenism. All right. But yeah, SMCI, and look at RT. Again, RT, look how powerful this is. We talk about this breakout here. I've been talking about this little breakout. This is what to look out for. Obviously, prior swing high. That's how I like to trade. But look at RT. RT say, hey, Ryan, you might want to have SMCI on your radar as it pops out. Because look, RT finally going above territory. And then today, bam, big move. This would be my first level of resistance right here. Just bottom. Probably not that strong of resistance. Might see a little pivot. But that's the gap fill. So it targets me around 56. But one thing I will say, it's got following earnings. And that's something you probably don't want to ignore. Let's go to year chart. Year chart doesn't look very pretty at all. So I'm thinking more of it just a quick swing trade than an investment there. That's what the software is telling me. But I do like what RT told me earlier. Could you go check out NGD? Sorry for the late response. I was delayed. Probably won't be on this live stream just because I got to record a video. I got to wrap this up ASAP here. Joey's probably like, what are you doing taking forever? LEU? I don't see a bag opportunity in this, but I do like that trend, that momentum to the upside. Again, just one warning sign here saying, hey, but no follow through the next day. The stop price getting you in. But again, becoming more speculation here just because value's dropping. I like the earnings is rising, but value's dropping here. So I'd stick a little bit more to the technicals. But RT's favorable. At the moment, man, it's almost maxed out. This thing is rocking and rolling. It was from $50. Oh, it's a mining company, uranium. Go figure. I told you, mining. I don't care what it is. Mining is hot right now. Mining is hot. TNA, you have to look at the news. I mean, this could be like a defense contract. You got to see what they're doing as far as mining. If you want to take a step further, especially if you're going to buy on this kind of momentum. It's a little stretched to be a buyer for me personally. Small cap bull, yeah. I mean, that's just a steady Eddie. 3 times leverage small cap. I mean, with interest rates cuts, if we get more cuts, probably only going to help it even more. And I've from $20 to 46. Yeah, if we get a couple more interest rate cuts and nothing crazy bad happens in the economy, it's probably not a bad ETF to hold on to. This is EBM. We had a big jump. It was for this one. I'm not going to get excited until I see value start to creep back up here. Yeah, we're still right around the valuation. I'm going to write it down. So I'm going to see if it's optionable. But I'm not that interested in it until I see that value. You know what I mean? I like value plays. Earnings per share, negative, but guess what? Moving in the right direction here, right? And RT, again, showing us this downward trend here, having a little bit more favor for the bulls right now, but still choppy. So I'm saying it's a little early for me. We don't have the buy rating yet, so be careful. But, yeah, no, I kind of like that, actually. It's mining. Oh, it is a mining company, isn't it? All right, and it's in my price range. I'm trying to sell cover calls here. RBLX, Roblox. Lower left, upper right. It was just a beautiful chart. Value, trust me, I'm not getting this because of value. But that stop price has kept me in this trade. God, what was the last sell here? April. We haven't had a sell on it since April. Earnings per share is negative, but overall moving in the right direction. Not the safest bet, but some of the indicators here are telling me not a bad call. Just realize investors are paying a premium. ASTS, big move as of late. Went from about $20 here. You can see I was looking at some point. But now the 65. Whew. Overvalued. It's a telecom stock. RT capturing some of that momentum here. RT went favorable. Back when the stock's about $50, now 65. Earnings per share is not why I'm going to be in it. It is falling right now. Rigetti, look at that. Nice pivot. Almost looks like a flag, don't it? Little pole, little flag action. Break to the upside, 35. You have to check the news, see what the news is going on when it comes to Rigetti. But I know Joey was just talking about Rigetti in a meeting. He might have been on to something there. Joey, you might have to do a Rigetti video. Put that one down. I have to go back to the quantum. You know? Because, yeah, I get a lot of them are overvalued. But there is a lot of potential to change the world with some of those quantum stocks. RBLX has not had a buy rating. No, it hasn't had a buy rating. Yeah, I would say since the sell rating. I wonder when's the last time I ever had a buy rating. It has to be because, I would think because of VST. Yeah, VST is below 1 right now. So technically, could not get a buy rating. That's interesting. But yeah, overall, value, safety, timing. NVTS up 13%. Got in because of you. What? It is? Son of a gun. I'm going to buy that one too, man. I don't like these stocks going up right now. I'll have money in a week to buy these stocks. It's all right though. I'm gonna tell you right now, if you did not check out that the video for Navitas, it's a very interesting story. They get partnership with AMD. They're doing a whole different. They're taking a whole different route when it comes to these chips, and they're looking for fab partners right now. So we'll see. We'll see. If a stock has not had a buy rating on the VB, I stay clear of those. Look at Kava too, because. Ooh. Yeah, Kava hasn't had a buy rating in a while. There's a little bit of a slither of a buy here. But yeah, look at that VST. Very weak VST. Ever since here. It had its heyday. But ever since here, I mean, the overall, yeah, it went back up a little bit, came back down. But the VST is just on the decline. Maybe I should look at VST more. But yeah, that's a great point out there. I like that one here. I think Roblox had a lawsuit recently. That's probably why, but still managed to overpower, surprisingly. Yeah, I don't really follow Roblox a whole lot. Just be careful with that one. But, you know, it looked like the trend was still in the favor of the Bulls right now. But, hey. All right, we got to go record a video. What is it? Yeah, 3:07. Joey's going to kill me. All right, everybody. Take care. Hope you enjoyed today's presentation. Really just wanted to show you some new things. Hope you liked that RT crossover and Unisearch. Again, you don't have to put a million things on the chart. Keep it simple, right? Just with these simple indicators. Well, I get rid of VST. We just did that towards the end here. But, right? Got to know what the stock is really worth, right? Got to know the trend of the stock, right? That's what RT is. You want to know the earnings of that stock. And more importantly, you want to know what the earnings are going to be in the future. And that's why we provide the 12-month leading forecast. On that note, everyone have a great Thursday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.